Hello, kings and queens. A warm welcome to my channel. This is Sianoki, and I'm so blessed to have all of you here. God bless you for all your subscriptions. Today, I'm taking you through how I make my shito. I start by washing my dried pepper. Where I got my pepper was an open place in the market and so dusty. So I decided to wash it. The sun was very high, and then I left it out in the sun to dry. When I was done, I decided to, take off the skin from the fish. Is the skin or the scale? I took it off from the herrings. I'm also taking the head off. Usually the head has stones, and we don't want that in our shito. You don't want to be eating shito and biting into stones and all. So I'll be taking the head off. And usually our mothers at the markets can, do this process for us, but I like to do it myself. And when I am done, I'll just put it in my baking tray, and then I'll put it in the oven. This will make it more crispier. You make it firmer and crispy. So while that is in the oven, I'm just prepping my vegetables. I'm using onions and ginger and garlic. Garlic is very onion ginger is very annoying to peel, so I just use a teaspoon to peel. It makes it easier. Still annoying. Anyway, so once I'm done peeling this, I just washed and cut them and I blended them. Now I'm doing this outside because of ventilation. So I pour in my coconut oil. While I wait for that to heat, I am pounding my herrings. You can use that small part of your blender to do this, but I like to pound it, and this didn't take so long, like 2 minutes, and I'm not exaggerating. And because it was very crispy, it was very easy to pound. I also pound because I don't want it too smooth. Yeah, I want to have the chunk of the herrings in the shito. So once I was done pounding this, my oil was hot. Then I just put in my blended onions, ginger, and garlic. I think next time when I'm blending this, I'll blend it together with the oil. And because I'm using a lot of oil anyway, that would reduce the cooking time. So I blended this with water, but you can blend this with the oil that you are using. So once that is on fire, I'll now be pounding the pepper. The pepper that I left to dry didn't really dry when I needed it, so I placed it again in the baking tray and I placed it in the oven, and that also became very crispy and easy to pound. Pounding the pepper also didn't take long at all. This took less than 5 minutes and I was done. And I wanted my pepper flaky, so yeah. So yeah, this this gas that I'm using outside is just stubborn. It does not regulate. Like when you're trying to turn it down, it will not, it will not mind you. So I was just stirring continuously. I mean, if you are doing this on your regular stove, you can just regulate your fire and stir from time to time, but I couldn't regulate this, so I was just stirring this consistently. Yeah, I didn't want it to burn because already some part of it had started burning and I didn't want that, so stirring this consistent. Then I'm adding in some this mixed spice, and I added in my bay leaves as well. At this point, you can add in any spice at all that you like. You can add in your curry powder, whatever you want that, yeah. But this is what I'm doing. I use the Badia mixed spice for this. I use seasoning cube, and then I'm using the bay leaves as well. So at this point, I'm now going to add in my herrings and my shrimp powder. I'm using, you see the bowls that I have. I used 1 cup of the herrings that I pounded, and then half a cup of the shrimp powder. You don't want your shrimp powder to be more than the herrings. It will not make your shito nice. It will give it this I can't even describe that taste. Yeah, so all the time make sure that your herrings are more than your shrimp powder, and I'm giving this a good stir. you know um what I think what I'm adding now is fish oil, is oil that I used to fry my fish and shrimp, some few days before I made this recipe. So I just added it to the shito, and then I'm giving it a good stir. I don't throw my fish oil away. Whenever I make my fried fish, I keep the oil because I know that I'll be using it for my shito. Yes. At this point, our shito is almost done, so I'll be adding in the pepper that I pounded, or the flaked pepper. Yeah, that's this the point that I'll add in, and then I'll just give it another good stir. And then I moved this from outside to the kitchen where I could regulate the stove, and I left this under very low heat to cook. The important part of this whole recipe is to make sure that all the water drain in that blended onion, ginger and garlic. That is how come I was like, oh, maybe next time I'll probably just use oil. So this was done, and I had let this out, and it had cooled completely cooled, and I'll be storing it in my airtight containers. So kings and queens, that is how I make my shito. Please don't forget to smash the like button and keep staying safe and stay blessed.